On Sunday the 22nd of March 2020, 7-year-old Emily Jones was riding her scooter in Queen's Park, Bolton, with her father. She spotted her mother jogging in the distance and headed towards her, passing a park bench where Eltiona Skana was sitting. As Emily passed, Skana grabbed Emily and slit her throat with a craft knife before running off. Emily died of her wounds shortly after the attack. Skana was subsequently detained under the Mental Health Act and subsequently pleaded not guilty to murder on the grounds of diminished responsibility. On the 4th of December 2020, the murder charge was withdrawn and the jury directed to return a verdict of not guilty. Was this the correct verdict? I think so. Skana is clearly mentally ill, albeit violently so. She had a history of violence. In previous incidents, she had stabbed her mother and attacked her sister. But we should note that most schizophrenics are not violent, being much more likely to be the target of attacks rather than the perpetrator of them. Like many people with severe mental illness, she had a difficult interaction with her medication. Antipsychotic medications frequently have quite severe side effects, and patients resist taking them or take them intermittently unless closely supervised. A quite common pattern amongst schizophrenics is for their mental health to degrade, their behaviour to become a danger to themselves or to others, and then they are detained or sectioned under the Mental Health Act. They are then medicated, sometimes without their consent. Their symptoms subside, they are released back into the community, they stop taking their medication, their mental health degrades, and the cycle begins again. When the police entered Skana's flat, they found approximately a month's worth of unconsumed medication. Skana seems to have been through this cycle of treatment, release, relapse, treatment, possibly 3 times. Her consultant at the high-security Rampton Hospital described her as becoming psychotically violent when not medicated. But Skana is an Albanian national. So why was she in the UK being treated by the NHS? The BBC states that Skana came to the UK in 2014. No mention of how she entered the country, just that she came to the country. The Independent states that Skana came to the UK in 2014. The Guardian states that Skana came to the UK in 2014. The Birmingham Mail online just stated that she was originally from Albania. The Daily Mail has a different take. According to them, she was smuggled into the UK in a lorry by people smugglers. Assuming for a moment that this detail is correct, I find it interesting that the other media chose not to report it, that this violently psychotic individual entered the country illegally. So given that she had no right to be in the UK, was any effort made to remove her back to her home country? Currently, Albania is not a member of the EU, so she had no automatic right to be here. Obviously, otherwise she'd have entered the country legally. Albanians can apply for tourist and business visas, and they seem to have quite generous conditions attached, but no automatic right of entry. So upon what basis was she allowed to remain? A confused paragraph in the Daily Mail states that in 2014, her sister had paid an agent to take Skana to the UK via Italy and France in a lorry. The refusal of her asylum application, presumably, was later reversed on appeal, and she was given a residency permit to remain in the UK until November 2020, and then leave to remain until 2024. There seems to be an error in the article, or rather there is a timeline in the sidebar that states that she was refused asylum. The basis for her claim was that she had been trafficked, which is a little odd to say the least. The article also stating that her sister had paid for her to be brought to the country. So choosing to come to the UK, financed by her sister, is the actual basis for her asylum claim? Is it me, or does that make no sense whatsoever? So of course, her clearly bogus asylum claim was rejected, right? Well, yes and no. It was initially rejected, but subsequently overturned on appeal. So she was allowed to remain, and ultimately to slash the throat of Emily Jones. Clearly, this woman is a danger to the community. She won't be repatriated to Albania. Human rights lawyers will ensure that won't happen. So where then? Can she or should be incarcerated forever? It is possible that she may recover. Is it possible that she may recover from her schizophrenia? Possible, but not probable. So to ensure that she isn't a threat, she must either be incarcerated or released under the tightest possible supervision to regulate both her interactions and her medication regime. This is a significant cost to the NHS and to the UK as a whole. How much easier it would have been to have rejected her patently bogus asylum claim and removed her from the country. There is no now for Emily. She went from being a young child riding her scooter in the park to being a corpse in a matter of minutes. Her parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, etc. will have to bear that burden forever. And all because the UK doesn't have the balls to repatriate a woman who entered the country illegally and filed a clearly bogus asylum application.